Welcome to Never Too Late for Fitness Radio, bringing baby boomers proven strategies and innovative products for getting fit, staying fit, so you can live a longer, healthier, and happier life. Here's your host, best-selling author and fitness advocate, Phil Ferris.
This is Phil Ferris, and welcome to our show. Never Too Late for Fitness Radio provides answers and straight talk about fitness, nutrition, and healthy lifestyles for people over 50. During each show, we talk to real health and fitness experts solving real problems with proven solutions you can apply to your day-to-day life. Today's show is for people over 50 who want to lose weight and improve their fitness in a fun, safe, and time-efficient manner. If you know that you must get back in shape, but you're not sure that you have the time, motivation, or knowledge to succeed, this episode is for you. My guest today is Shelton Matsey, owner-operator of FitCode, a fitness boot camp that helps people increase their metabolism and get in great shape. FitCode has 4 locations in the Chicago area, including Mokena, Beverly, Midway, and Dyer, Indiana. Since 2009, Shelton has been working with women and men alike to provide a boot camp program premised on community, adaptability, and empowerment. As a result, hundreds of clients have been able to reclaim their bodies and take control of their health, their future, and their confidence once again. I heard about Shelton from a friend of mine, Geoff Morris, who's over 50, has lost over 50 pounds, and he's kept it off. He kept bothering me and encouraging me to reach out to Shelton because of the results and the way that he went about training. So I reached out to Shelton, and here we are. So Shelton, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Phil. I appreciate it.
Can you tell us about your health and fitness journey and how it shaped your approach to helping your clients achieve their health and fitness goals?
So I started in my health and fitness journey. I was always kind of somewhat of an athlete, not much of an athlete growing up. And I went to college. I started in engineering. I started, surprisingly enough, electrical engineering, and just found out that wasn't for me. Changed my major a few times, and then found out about kinesiology. And had a friend of mine who wanted to be a physical therapist. She told me about kinesiology and physical therapy. So I learned about that and just loved the idea of helping people, kind of engineer their bodies, so to speak. So. So that was going to be my path, and finished my degree, graduated, and then I got out. Spent 6 years active duty military, so I was still with my soldiers, still making sure that they were in shape, and so I still had my connection to helping people in their journeys. And I forgot to say, when I mentioned while I was in college as well, I trained down there, so I was a personal training down there on the campus, as well as at Bally's for a little bit. And after I got in the military, I got my MBA in the military, got a nice corporate job, and just wasn't really enjoying it. So I decided I wanted to get back into training, quit my job. My wife was 5 months pregnant with my first child at that time. And I knew that was something I was passionate about in terms of helping people and something I really wanted to do. So I quit my corporate job, got back into training, loved being back in the gym, helping people. And it kind of led me back to my journey of where I'm at now in terms of starting FitCode and in 2009, as you mentioned, and just kind of going from there. So,
what was your initial vision for FitCode?
Well, when I was working in the last big box gym I was at, as I tell people, the conversations I always had with my managers were always, how do we get more people through the doors, and how do we get more people signing up for training? It was rarely ever about how do we make people that come through the doors better. And so when I started FitCode, I used to have a business partner. When we started, the goal was to have a place where we focus on getting people better, and then as a result, more people will come through the doors, and just reverse engineering that, and really let our results speak for themselves, and not just focus on the training itself and being great coaches on the floor in terms of the workouts, but also focusing on helping people with their mindset and help people with their nutrition. So providing an all-around approach to their long-term success, as opposed to just focusing on just the workouts or just one aspect of the equation, because they're also important.
Okay, well, let me focus a little bit on the clients that you serve. Can you tell us a little bit about who they are and why they initially come to FitCode?
We have a variety of clients, ranging anywhere. Our youngest right now is 15, and our oldest is 75. But the majority of our clients, and we have male, female, the majority of our clients are typically 35 to 55, either, stay-at-home moms or, people who work, or there's male, female. Majority of them have families, but some do not. And they come in, they are looking to, most of them are looking to, feel better about themselves. They want more energy, more vitality. They want more, they want to reclaim something that they used to have, so they're not feeling comfortable where they're at. More self-confident. Sometimes they've had a family history of certain diseases or things like that they want to prevent. So they may have had a parent or a loved one pass away or go through something with a health issue, and they don't want that for themselves. And they want to be around sometimes long-term for the kids. So we have a variety of clients, but the majority are looking to better some aspect of their life and using, fitness and the coaching as a means to that.
Okay. Now, one of your signature programs are challenges. Can you describe what they are and why they're so successful at getting people to start a fitness program and, more importantly, stay with it?
Absolutely. So our 6-week challenge is program initially started where the goal over 6 weeks is to lose 15 pounds and or 6% body fat. And it's a few great things that are great about it. One, you have that start point and end point. You have a goal to kind of reach at that point at the end. So it gets people focused for that 6 weeks. And this is where I need to get to. And if I need to make adjustments along the way, I can make those adjustments. But I know what that end point is. Sometimes people start journeys and they don't know where they're trying to get to and when they're trying to get there by. So they say, hey, I want to lose some weight. I want to feel better. And that becomes so vague that they can't, it's hard to set the points along the way to be successful. And so that's why that 6 weeks kind of, the analogy I like to use, if I'm going to school and I have a big paper to do, and if my professor says I have whenever to get it done, then it's going to take whenever to get done. If my professor says, guess what, you have 6 weeks to get it done, now I know what I need to do week by week, day by day in order to finish it by the end of the 6 weeks. And so it provides that focus and motivation for the 6 weeks. Secondly, we give you all the tools that you need. So we give you nutrition, we do goal setting, we talk about your why, we make adjustments, we have coaching on the way. In addition, we have our Facebook group, which is key because we have over 1,000 members who have gone through the program in that Facebook group or currently going through the program. So they've been through it. They know the challenges. They know the successes, and they help in the journey as well. So if I'm coming through in a 6-week challenge and I have a question, now I have not just the resources of my, the team here at FitCode, but also everyone who's been through the challenge as well. You're working with a cohort as well. So, you have everyone else that's going through that 6 weeks at the same time that you're working together, and it becomes that family community feel, not just the people who are doing the challenge, but also the people who have done the challenge that come through our doors on a day-to-day basis, or even our members who have not done the challenge, where it's the family community all kind of helps support, gives that supportive system and safety net. So if I'm having issues, I can reach out to someone and say, hey, I'm having issues with this aspect of my life. Maybe my coworkers are, I'm trying to stick to the nutrition. My coworkers are bringing donuts in every day. What do I do? What sort of tools can I use? Or I'm having a hard time meal prepping on a weekly basis. What kind of tools have you guys used to be successful? So a lot of different resources and tools to help people along the way.
Can you share a case study or an example of someone that entered the program and kind of the challenges they went through and what kind of results they got? Just to give our listeners an idea of what they might expect if they were to experience a challenge like this.
Cool. So one of our recent ones, we had a young lady who just recently lost 112 pounds. So one of the aspects of our challenge that I didn't mention is, you pay initial accountability deposit, and that accountability deposit helps hold you accountable, and you can get that money back upon successful completion of the program. So that's an added little benefit that kind of keeps people focused on where they're trying to get to. And if you hit the 15 pounds or 6%, you can continue on in your journey. So this young lady, she dropped 112 pounds. She did 8 challenges in a row. The initial security deposit carried her for the full 112 pounds. She never paid anything else. And then she got that money back on the back end and applied it towards a membership. But, speaking with her, and she's just recently joined as a member, and she's going to help us with some of the things that we're going to do going forward in terms of revamping how we help people with their nutrition, and learning how to meal prep and the tools that she used to kind of prep her meals so she'd be successful the whole time. So one of the things she talked about initially was kind of getting that ball going with the meal prepping and learning how to meal prep, learning, like, if I have a taste for, let's say she recently mentioned she made some lasagna, some compliant, by our plan, compliant lasagna. All right. And so how she can engineer that. And so that's one of the things that she says she had to kind of learn along the way. Another aspect sometimes that another client I just recently sat down with, sometimes just finding the time for, and this is kind of very, very common. She mentioned finding that time for herself to take out, to work out, and to kind of put herself first as opposed to the demands of, the family, the demands of work, and really putting herself first so that she can take care of herself first. And that allows her to take care of everyone else as well. As a result of that, she give her best self to the world and everyone around her and her loved ones. So
let me probe that just a little bit, because especially with women, making time for themselves is a big obstacle for them to overcome.
Huge. I hear it every day.
It's built in their DNA or whatever. Mm-hmm. But until they do that, there's always something else, someone else, another errand they have to do before they get time for themselves. How do you get your female clients to find the time for themselves and to justify so they feel comfortable doing so?
So I think everything is a case by case basis, right? So that I don't believe there is no one size fit all formula for anything in terms of someone results. So it's figuring out how the puzzle pieces fit in their life. So maybe our challenge isn't a great fit because they have soccer practice that they're taking the kids to on this day, and then they're staying late for work this day, and so maybe our challenge isn't necessarily the best fit, but there's, maybe we find a way to get them to come in and work out 3 days a week and, maybe change the nutrition, tweak things here and there where we're not trying to fix everything at once, but we're trying to take things a little bit slower. And so really for me, it's just figuring out what can we do to fit within where they're at, where they're trying to get to, and then kind of bridging that gap in terms of how much leeway they want to give in terms of their timeline of where they want to get to, if that makes sense. And so, like, some people, they're ready. They're like, hey, I can right now. I'm tired of putting everybody first. I'm ready to do this. I need to do this for myself. And they're going to give everything right off the bat. And then some people are saying, just because of the constraints right now, even though I would like to do A, B, and C, I can't do that. What can I do? And so just kind of reverse engineering that to kind of help them figure out a plan to get them moving forward. So maybe their results may not be as fast as, 15 pounds in 6 weeks, but it may be, 7, 8 pounds in 6 weeks, but we're moving forward. All right. Or it may just be that we are getting to work out right now and we're just getting that piece of the puzzle in place. And then, okay, now we got this piece, several weeks down the line. Okay, what can we do now?
So it's really individualizing it. It's building a program around their motivation and needs in life so that they are moving forward and they can see progress. And once they start seeing progress, it's easier to justify more time, more effort.
Correct. So I would never try to throw someone into a program where it's not going to fit them. So like our 6-week challenge, once again, if I say, hey, you need to do this because, this is what works, and it doesn't work for their lifestyle, they're going to end up failing. And then they're going to have a negative effect or negative response to, fitness and working out and all this stuff. So we have to meet them where they're at and kind of help them move along.
Okay. Now, many people get intimidated when they hear boot camp and challenges. Mm-hmm. What are the most common misconceptions people have about your program, and how do you clarify it so that they're comfortable starting it?
I think the biggest thing is the workouts are too hard. People just we really have tried to get away from using sort of boot camp, even though people understand what that means. And we consider ourselves more personal training in a smaller, large group environment because we're very hands-on. We adjust our coaching on the floor to meet the individual. So we have all fitness levels that come in. We have level 1, level 2, level 3 exercises that, so if you're coming in, and we have people that have never worked out a day in their life coming in. We have people who have always been working out, and they're working out right alongside one another, doing the same workout, just a different variation of that workout. I have a lady several weeks ago, and she's our oldest right now. I believe she's 75. And she came in, she had those same spheres. She came in via one of our 21-day detoxes. And she was scared initially when she first came in. She said, I cannot do that stuff. When she saw that what we were doing, just kind of watching the class. And our coach said, yes, you can. Brought her in. And, we made the adjustments as need be. And she has a great, great story because she ended up, loving it, doing very well in 21-day detox. One of her daughters ended up buying a challenge for her. And she did well, succeeded on the challenge. And then one of her other daughters ended up buying a year membership for her. And she came in during weighouts, and she was so excited because she had been having issues with her shoulders where she had some torn rotator cuffs before she came in, and she had been seeing a physical therapist for weeks, and she made some progress, but wasn't making a ton of progress. And she was standing in front of me, and she was just waving her arms. She's like, I can do this now, and waving her arms all around and kind of showing everybody. She's like, several weeks I couldn't do this. And, this has made such an impact on my life. And had she not given herself that opportunity to, get over those fears and that most people have in terms of we're just going to come in and just try to beat you down. That's not our goal. Our goal is to empower you, make you stronger, and help you progress. And as I mentioned with the nutrition and the mindset piece, to meet you where you're at and help you move along to where you want to be.
How do you address the mindset piece? Now, that's an area that a lot of programs never even address. They just, it's either fitness and diet or nutrition. But you mentioned mindset. So how do you address that with your clients?
And that's the most difficult piece of the puzzle, right? So we do go about that a couple different ways. So, we have some programs that we do. So we have, once a year, I do a goal setting workshop. We'll talk about the goals that people are trying to get to, why they're important, not just from a fitness standpoint, but also, the finances, the relationships, everything that kind of encompasses a person's life. We will, during the challenge, we will talk about nutrition as well as goals. We'll talk about a person's why, because a why is kind of an underlying piece that sometimes people don't want to address or talk about or think about. They always think about it's the external piece. And if we really get down and dig down into the why, that can be the key to keep us going. So if I come in and I'm just getting ready to go on vacation, I'm trying to get in my little polka dot bikini, then that can motivate me for a little bit. But if I come in and I want to be around for my kids because I have a family history where, one of my parents died early, and I don't want that for my kids. I want to be an example for my kids. That could be a powerful long-term motivating why. So really getting people to tap into their why is key as well. We also have brought on a psychotherapist that we've just started working with, Dr. Mondo. So he does some stuff with a few of our clients as well as a separate program. And we're always looking for ways to kind of help the mindset piece, because that is the most challenging piece. And that's the piece where, people just think the formula is just nutrition and the working out. And oftentimes when life gets in the way, understanding that life will get in the way, how we can overcome those obstacles that get in the way and continue to move forward, as opposed to just kind of stopping or going back to our old habits.
Okay, and that's the reason most people don't succeed in a weight loss or fitness program has to do with going back to old habits and giving up, and it is the mindset.
Yeah.
If you get the mind focused on the right things, they can accomplish it. And a 6-week challenge is good for the short term, but you get people to not, it's like one challenge and then they continue. How do you get them to continue beyond the initial challenge? Why do they do that?
How do I get them to continue? What? I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah. So the challenge is good to jumpstart something. Mm-hmm. Because it's focused and it's something new, and it's only 6 weeks, and I can do anything for 6 weeks.
Right.
But fitness is forever. Mm-hmm. And yet you get your clients to stay with you and continue working out for long periods of time, kind of a sustainable approach. Why do they continue working out? What motivates them to stay beyond the 6-week challenge?
Cool. So a few things. Number one, I think they want to, generally continue with their success. And so, when you find something that works, and especially if you've gone through a lot of different things and they haven't worked, to find something that works is, you want to stick with that. Secondly, I think one of the big things that we have here that you may not find, especially at a big box gym, is this community. Like, we have a great family here. Our members are amazing. And I joke around and say, if you come here and you do that and make friends here, then, you have to kind of investigate your soul, because, cause something's going on, because we have the most amazing, most friendly members, and people come in and it's a welcoming environment, and you don't necessarily get that everywhere. And so, people make some really deep connections where, have people going out and they have little groups and, go out to dinner together, they'll meal prep together. And so the community feel is key as well. And then we just have continued support along the way. So if, life does get in the way, as it sometimes does, and you start to backtrack, then we have programs that can assist with that. We have things where you can sit down with myself or one of our coaches and kind of reassess and figure out what the hiccups are and figure out what the next plan of action is for you to get you moving forward. And, we're always looking to improve how we can help our clients in that long-term journey. So I think those are the big things. Okay.
Now, one thing that people talk about on the videos, and Geoff talked about and other clients have talked about, is, how hard the workouts and how much they're pushed and how much they enjoy, but also how much fun they have and how much they laugh. What's this bit about, how important is fun at a Fit Code program?
Yeah. So one of our core values is to deliver fun. And so, that's something that I think is important. It keeps people if you're having fun, I like to think of Fit Code as like a third place for people. You have work, you have home, and then you have Fit Code. And if we make things engaging, we could take your mind off the workout a little bit. And you can have a little chance to laugh outside of the stresses of, the outside world. Then it just makes the workout just that much more enjoyable. Some people don't really enjoy working out. So if you can find little ways to keep things fun and lighthearted, laughing is great for the soul. It's great for the mind. So just keeping things fun and lighthearted is you have to come in and push-ups must be done exactly this way, and all serious, and that doesn't really make for a great environment, in my opinion, for most people.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that want the benefits of working out and fitness and understand them, but really don't enjoy it. I enjoy working out. So I'm looking at them like it's a foreign language. What do you mean you don't like working out? No,
right. I
will do it, but I want to do it in the shortest amount of time, have the most amount of enjoyment, and then get on with the things that I really do like. Right. And it's like, okay. And that was kind of a new insight for me to recognize that everybody doesn't love getting sweaty, and doing the workout. So there are other ways, if I see this success, if I enjoy the process, I'm going to keep doing it. And that's really the key is, do you keep doing it? So based on your years of experience helping people transform their bodies, what's one piece of advice that you could share with the people that are over 40 or over 50 who are considering starting a fitness program?
I would say get started, do some research. There's lots of different ways to get from where you're at to where you want to be. You just have to figure out the plan that works best for you. I'll be honest, Fit Code isn't the best option for everybody. It just isn't. I don't believe in a one-size-fits-all approach. And so if you enjoy going out to dance and, there's a dancing program that works better for you, and they can give you the other tools that you need to be successful, or you can come up with those other tools and you go do that. If it's, working strictly with kettlebells, you go do that. If it's going for a run, you go do that. Figure out what works best for you and your overall results and where you're trying to get to, and get started. Do your research and understand that I can give you like a million different things. It doesn't happen overnight necessarily. So you have to give it some time. You have to be consistent as well. Consistency. So, and if one thing doesn't work for you, go out and try to find something else, because there is something out there for you.
Okay, now to drill down on that just a little bit, because there are a lot of listeners, aren't in the Chicago market, aren't in the South Side of Chicago, Dyer. So if someone wants to start a fitness program, what are some specific guidelines you would give them for selecting a program that's right for them? So if you were advising your brother or your sister to look, what to look for in a fitness club that was not around, that wasn't, and they didn't have access to Fit Code, what would you tell them?
So first you have to, when you're researching an organization or a place to go to, and you're looking for coaching specifically, you have to make sure that the coaches or whoever's coaching, they know what they're doing. They have a track record of results that are applicable to what you're trying to do. So, for example, if someone comes in here and they're training for an Ironman, then we're not necessarily going to be the best fit for them, right? I would tell them go find someone that helps people train for Ironman, because that's not what we do. That's not what we specialize in, right? So finding coaches or coaching that is applicable to your goals and what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're looking for a transformation, you find people who have delivered great results in terms of transformations and getting people where they need to be. Also, make sure that they provide the environment that is good for you, and they genuinely care. And which is harder to kind of suss out, but they care about your results and what you're trying to get to, and they put that above, everything else. It's not about just getting, as I talked about before in, my previous life, where it's just about getting people through the doors, right? Do they really care about helping you in your results and helping you get the results that you're looking for? And, from a coaching standpoint, I kind of touched on this a little bit, like, can they actually coach? And so sometimes I'll go and visit gyms, and from a coaching standpoint, they may be doing, more harm than good. And so, does their program, which is, if you don't have that knowledge, it's kind of harder to figure out, but does their programming and their workouts make sense?
How would someone know if their programs and workouts made sense?
Yeah, and that's a tougher one if you don't really have the background or knowledge behind it, because sometimes, a coach may look like they're a great coach because maybe they look the part, or, they can make you sweat. But they may be putting, people in positions that aren't necessarily the best for, or maybe setting them up for injury. And so, ask, certifications, are they certified, which doesn't say a whole lot, but maybe ask, what sort of things that they do or, what a good question to ask is, what are they currently learning? Like, what are they currently researching or learning? If a coach is always learning and they're always trying to get better, then good chance you have a good coach. So they're researching people in the industry who are have a history of working out, and history of helping coaches, as opposed to just looking in the bodybuilding magazine or something like that. So if a coach is always trying to learn to get better, and from a training standpoint, there's a good chance that they have your best interests at heart.
Okay. It's something that I found, and this is from a personal experience, because I had back surgery, knee surgery, wrist surgery. And so I'll ask, I said, I have limited motion in my wrist. How do you adapt exercises for that?
Yes.
And if a guy just says, "Oh, don't worry about it," and kind of sloughs it off, or, how in the past have you worked with someone that has, a limited range of motion in their left knee due to lack of cartilage? And if they don't have a pretty reasoned answer, or they've never experienced that, chances are that's not probably the person. You don't want them learning on you.
Yes, that is a great, great way to, yes, I would highly recommend doing something like that. Even if you have someone that, like, talk about a torn rotator, or whatever the case may be. Yeah. So,
I mean, most people over 40 and 50 have some limitation.
Yeah.
There could be a medication, if they're taking blood pressure medication, and the guy says, I love to have people do burpees. Well, going down and coming up fast when you're on blood pressure medication can make you dizzy and make you fall down. If they don't know that, you're going to have an accident.
Yeah.
So it really is understanding, do they have the experience of understanding working with people that do have some limitation and that still can work out in a meaningful kind of way. So, so I guess the other thing, if people want to learn more about FitCode and connect with you and learn more about your program, where should they go, Shelton?
Probably the best place to go is fitcoderesults.com. That's FITCODE results.com. They can find out more about us, or look us up on Facebook as well. I've been FitCode, 2 words.
And, if you do go to FitCode, you'll find a lot of good information and some, testimonials and things like that. And that, I think, is a great way to get an idea of who the people are, the kinds of results they're getting, and what you can expect when you go to a FitCode to get fit. So, Shelton, I want to thank you so much for taking time from your busy schedule with 4 locations and a family to share your experience and your insights, so that the people over 40 and 50 can, in fact, regain their life and regain their confidence by getting fit. So thank you so much for spending the day with us.
Thank you, Phil. I appreciate all that you're doing to keep everyone healthy and help them see that there is opportunity for them out there, no matter the age, and that they can get on that road to success. So thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You're the same. Take care.
You've been listening to Never Too Late for Fitness Radio, hosted by Phil Ferris. To learn more about the guests or resources on our show today, or to listen to past episodes, go to nevertoolateforfitness.com.